What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big NCAA football bowl extravaganza. Thank you guys so much for your support and for watching. Let's keep cashing. It's been a glorious month. Let's get that paper. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the Alamo Bowl, 9 p.m. Eastern. Number 20th ranked Texas Longhorns, 6-3 on the season versus Colorado Buffaloes, 4-1 on the season. The Alamodome, San Antonio, Texas. Texas closed out the season by winning 4 of 5. They open up as 13.5-point favorites. It moves to 8. And I'm like, and then we're going to talk about the opt-outs. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I actually thought that at that point, because there was a big move during the day today when it went from 9.5 to 8, I think it'll get bought back and start going back up. So I bet first half -5 and full game -8. But the leading indicator books are telling you it's going to 7. It's at 7 now. It could go down to 6.5. I was wrong. Okay, Texas won tight games over Oklahoma State and West Virginia before losing 23-20 home to Iowa State. They closed out the season by winning 69-31 at Kansas State. Led by senior quarterback Sam Ehlinger, they averaged 41.3 points, gained 457.3 yards per game. Ehlinger completed 60.1% of his passes for 2,406 yards, 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Top receiver Brennan Eagles caught 28 passes for 469 yards, 5 TDs. He's opted out of the game, declaring himself eligible for the draft. Texas still has weapons at wide receiver. So now I know that Eagles at 6'4" is a very important target, but as far as I've studied, Joshua Moore, Jake Smith, Tariq Black are all in. Now 6'7" tight end Jared Wiley is questionable with his shoulder injury. This huge market move makes me think maybe he's not going to be there. On defense, they've been hurt by opt-outs. Team leader in sacks, Joseph Osai. Senior safety, Chris Brown. Defensive lineman Taquan Smith have all opted out to prepare for the draft. I just really believe that they have enough to still get through here. And we'll talk about why. Colorado's won 4 straight before closing the season with the 38-21 loss at home versus Utah. Senior quarterback Sam Neuer struggled at times, completing just 58.4% of his passes for 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury, but he's been upgraded to probable for the big game. They're led by sophomore running back Jarek Broussard, who ran for 813 yards in their 5 games, including 301 at Arizona. Their best defender, senior linebacker Nate Landman, tore his Achilles in the game against Utah. And the whole game changed. You got Landman off the field, Utah could put up points at will. Their defense was shredded after he got hurt. I'm making moves here on the Texas Longhorns, and I guess I shouldn't have bet it today when I was so excited to bet it. We'll start with the big ragu here. Longhorns, Buffaloes, take it away.
Yep, Longhorns and the Buffs. Now the Buffs, they're pretty good at putting pressure, getting into the backfield, creating a little bit of havoc. Short schedule with them. They played 5 games where they 4-1. They finished up on the year, like you said, 4-game winning streak.
4-1.
And Texas, it took them a little while to get going, but we got Tebow Light and Ehlinger. I like this kid a lot. He's been in the big games before. He's always produced, when the money's on the line. And I think we're getting a little bit short on the number because of what Colorado's recency, what they got going on. I think it's going to be the Ehlinger show here. And I didn't get to the window with the squad yet, but I was kind of waiting to kind of see which way the money was going to come in on. And I'm hoping it's probably going to be a last minute, not for the show purposes, but for me to get to the window. And Tom Herman, he's kind of underperforming. He's been on the hot seat. I kind of think that's kind of come to pass for him. So I like Texas here a lot. I'm kind of waiting for the best number that I can get. I hope it keeps going down. For show money, give me Texas -7.
Yes, let me do that for you right now. While I am line shopping for ragu for the best legal license book, I'll bring up Circa as well. Let's go over to DJ Big Boss. Big Boss, take it away. Texas, Colorado.
This one right here, I find lopsided in Colorado. They're only 4-1. In a normal year, they probably don't even end up in a bowl game like this versus a top opponent like Texas, ranked number 20 in this one. I like everything they in this game, in this matchup right here. I like everything that Texas is doing. I like the quarterback better. I like the coach better. I like the offense over at Texas, and I also like the defense at Texas as well. And overall, I like Texas. So it's Texas for me all the way across the board. Colorado got a bunch of underclassmen. They in this 5-game season that they had, they came out one way, regrouped, and all that good stuff. And now they got a bunch of underclassmen that had to step up. So, I mean, the 9 kind of scares me with Texas, just period, because Texans ain't been a very good team covering. They 3-5-1 ATS. So the 9 kind of scares me, but I think this is just a good spot for Herm Edwards. The small progress he made this year, Ellinger, he deserves a bowl win or something like that. And I kind of like Texas in here, and I'm willing to lay the 9, but also like the under in this one too. The difference of the two conferences, but they still in the same region. So a lot of state games, Texas versus Colorado, and California, Texas. All those athletes play against each other, and they're gonna be meeting up in this bowl game right here. And I think Colorado does have potential on defense to slow them down a little bit, but I think Texas just wants it a lot more. It'll make it a nice season. Great case for Herm Edwards moving forward. So I'm going to take the under 63.5. I'm going to stay away from the side.
Well, it is down to 7. It's a 7.
It's down to 7?
If you want to make a decision. But let's see if Ragu wants the 7 right now, because it's juiced. The 7 is at minus 119 at both Resorts and Bet America, minus 125 at Point Bets. If you want 7.5, that's minus 105 at FanDuel. Circa still at 8.
7.5. What's the over and under? 60.
I'm going to move over to that right now because that's where Boss was leaning. Boss is looking at a couple different spots here. The total is at 63.5 right across the board.
So, you know what I want? I want a first half total over in that game. And right. I'll take the minus 118.
119. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll take over. It should be like 31-ish.
It's wildly interesting. Let's see what Circa. It's just wild here. Let me just see if Circa can. No, they're not. Oh yeah, first half. No, it's wild. So basically, we have 32.5 at minus 110 at FanDuel and Circa. If you want to drop a point, it's 31.5 at minus 120 at PointsBet. No. And then BetMGM's hanging this crazy 31 at minus 154 right now.
I'll take Texas first half also. I'll just do Texas first half and Texas full game.
That's how you want. Okay, you want to stick to that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have Texas first half. Let's quickly line shop, and then we'll move to John Ryan. We have Ragu on Texas first half and full game. There's a minus 4.5 at plus 100 at FanDuel. First half. And by the way, I bet it at minus 5 today.
Hey, I want to shop some value.
Sure.
Of course.
I want to shop some value, man, because I like I said, I'm not head over heels for dropping the points with Texas in this one, but I do like the under, and I'm gonna take it under first half. I in my eyes, I see it like Colorado has a little something different to offer on defense. It's gonna slow Texas down, just for a couple series in the first half, and we stay under the first half total. What do I get for the first half?
I will get you that right now. Very interesting.
Because I feel the market is adjusting towards the Big 12. They do have a lot of high scoring games over there, and they do expect them to play high. But these guys can play, under games as well. And I think Colorado, all they really have is their defense. They kind of struggle on offense, so all they really have to bring to the game is a little bit of defense. And I think they hold them off in the first half, and then maybe Texas takes over in the second half. But give me the under first half.
First half under, you have, if you want to go under 31, you can get that at plus 120. Under 31.5 at minus 110. Under 32.5 at minus 110.
Give me under 32.5 at minus 110. Give me that.
Yeah. Okay, Boss is locked in first half under. Let's go to John Ryan. How do you see this game, and what's your move?
Well, you guys have already broken it down pretty well here. DJ just made some great points about the under. I like the under. And I definitely agree with you guys with the Texas play. The only however I have is why in the world are people betting on Colorado and sending this line down so fast and so hard? I can't get my hands around why someone would plop 5 or 10 grand down on Colorado when I'm staring at metrics right now that show clearly that Texas is the superior team. They're gaining 6.2 yards per play, Colorado 5.5. Strength of schedule rating. Last week we were talking about that. I think the highest one we had was South Carolina at 48, and the lowest was Buffalo at 17. There's a 8-point edge in favor of Texas's strength of schedule. So Texas is at 42, and I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, so Texas has played a tougher schedule. They are the better team on both sides of the ball. Remember in the beginning of the season, one of our first couple of shows, I was really high on that Texas defense, and then they got torched. They've kind of come back. The opponent points per play metric, they're actually ahead of Colorado in this matchup. So when I have both sides of the ball with the better team and a more balanced attack, I mean, after all, Colorado runs the ball 60% of the time. Texas is 50-50. And if I get that situation with advantages on both sides of the ball, I think under right away. And lastly, I'll give you a little nugget here of a system out of the repository. So 33, 9, and 1 push, that's 78% winners betting under on neutral field teams where the total is greater than or equal to 62. Has an experienced quarterback returning as starters. So that's Ehlinger, Texas, and I mean, how can you have more experience than him?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm a very concerned when I see the great gas station Sushi Max betting Colorado. But I can explain why the market's moved. All these opt-outs, very important opt-outs. If Nate Landman had not have tore his Achilles against Utah, I would be making a different move in this game. I think he's an enormous loss. So, John Ryan, official play.
Under, and you had one line there. It was what, 31 plus 120?
Yes, I did. Let's pull
the first half run. I'll take that, and I will take the total for the game. And also, I want to make a point because I've been studying this crapola with the opt-out, which we have never seen, right? So I'm not trying to contradict what Jimmy just said because it's accurate. But at the same time, if you're betting because these guys are opting out, then you're missing the point of trying to understand and learn who's going to take their place. And if there's a freshman that they're going to play for one game and he's not going to lose eligibility this year, everybody comes back with the same number, and he's a 4-star recruit, I mean, who knows? The guy might be better than the starter. So that's where I get a little leery with all these opt-outs and then trying to figure out the plug-and-play pieces because it gets confusing as hell.
All right. Locking you in. You got the 63.5 at minus 105 at PointsBet.
Love it.
And you got the plus 120 under 31 at BetMGM. Very interesting. All right. In review, Ragu's on first half minus 4.5 plus 100. Full game minus 7 on Texas. Big Boss on the first half under 32.5 minus 110. John Ryan's on the first half under 31 at plus 120. Full game under 63.5 at PointsBet. And I'm on the same bets as Ragu. First half minus 4.5 plus 100. Full game minus 7 at BetAmerica. And very, very interesting. And we have the fear of knowing that Gas Station Sushi's max betting the other side. So there you go. Let's move on. Desar says, forgot about that injury. That injury to me was massive. Absolutely massive.